You know, many years, over the years, I've been asking myself why Nigerians are ignorant of international law, why Nigerians are viewing, international local laws from, blind perspectives, why Nigerians are not asking how much do Nigerian government realize from our crude oil monthly after importation, after buyers came through the oceans with their tanker or vessels. Why is Nigeria not interested to know about Nigerian nation, the history of the country, the government of the country, the meaning of democracy, why Igbo man is marginalized? And the most important question now, very, very paramount in everybody's mind, is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was illegally renditioned from Nairobi, Kenya into this country under the watch of a less educated retired general, a poorly educated retired general, Muhammad Buhari, from Fulani extraction. Why did Nnamdi Kanu, forcefully come into this country under duress that way they actually did? Why? Nigerians are very blind and ignorant. I'm sorry to have told you your faults, where you are getting it wrong, because I know many people among you don't like the truth. But the basic honesty there is that you are all blindfolded, by your money, by your connection, by the tribe where you come from, as you say, Fulani, Yoruba, extraction, rubbishing Nigerian democracy and governments year in, year out. Every 4 years they gamble, over the mandate and power, and they grab it themselves. Why is Nigeria ignorant of what Kanu is going through? Why Nigerians don't know the reasons, basic, cogent reasons they refuse Nnamdi Kanu freedom, not bail. Court has actually granted him bail by setting him free. But why are they still holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the, concrete question everybody should be asking themselves, himself, him or herself now in Nigeria. The major reason there is that you guys are wallowing in abject ignominy, lack of knowledge, and you don't want to learn. You don't want to ask yourself questions because you don't have spirit of questioning in you, which could actually bring basic knowledge, education to you. To be a sound person in life, you must be very, very knowledgeable, educated. You must be very, very sound physically, mentally. It's not about reading book every day, going to library every day. No! You must be somebody that has this kind of, magnetic, let me say, retentive memory. You've forgotten that we have United Charter. United Charter is under United Nations by United Nations member nations, which Nigeria, Kenya are among the United Nations. We are member of the United Nations, a platform that is holding all the countries of the world since 1945. Nigeria is a staunch member of United Nations, and we can never go outside the objectivities or objective for which that platform was actually, initiated or formed. I don't even understand where I'm going. In 1945. That's why we could never act outside the law of the United Nations. Mark it as one reason. Nigeria has violated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by illegally renditioning him, from Nairobi, Kenya into Nigeria under the, let me say, powerful watch of the then Attorney General of the Federation, whom, if you ask me, has not passed elementary 6, let alone going through the normal process being commissioned as a lawyer, barrister, went to the bar and served as a chief judge, chief justice, or working in his or someone's chamber as one of the attorneys. Malami Abubakar has not done that. He has not gone through that. In fact, if you ask me, Malami Abubakar is a poor man, poorly educated man who could not even be fitting to manage ordinary magistrate court where marital issues, quarrels between husbands and wife, are settled. Yeah, weekly basis, sometimes every 3 days. I know about magistrate court, EXTRA-JUDICIAL in Lagos here. I know the one at IGBOS. Everybody is free to go into the court and feed his ears. But Nigerians are not that kind of, wise people, educated people, or people with knowledge or information, to be attending court hearing. A case that does not concern me, no be me, I no go. It concern me. Waiting at they go there do. That's why we don't know the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been still, stocked at DSS facilities. The Director General of the DSS, Department of State Security Service, is now under fire. Why? He vomited bullshit. A remark. The same remark that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made, they roped him and they counted those remarks as part of the 9-count or 15-count charges, has been actually made 3 days ago by Director General of State Security, Department of State Security Service. Meaning, the Yoruba man, Yoruba man is always bragging that they went to school. The man has actually stabbed himself on the belly. He vindicated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by making that statement, and Aloy Ejimako and other legal counsel of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they have written it down against him. Wow! We have many stories to tell about useless, unnecessary incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Nostradamus, the prophet of our time. One point I have given you is that actually Nigeria has, used the rope that is meant for a hangman or a man trying to hang himself and put it on their neck and tighten it up. Final. Nigeria hanged themselves by illegally arresting, renditioning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Nairobi, Kenya. That's one reason. And the Kenyan Nigeria not having that treaty or pact or such international agreement to rendition any of her citizens if found culpable in neither of the countries, the two countries. So that's why it is overcomplicated this time around to allow Nnamdi Kanu to go. Meaning that Kanu has actually entrapped Nigerian country. Nigerian country is now entrapped. If you ask me, I will tell you net or metallic, that's iron trap. Or there's the other one we use cable clutch to set for all those lower animals, grass cutters and so on and so forth. If get caught by this wire cable trap, man, you are gone. Unless you let big child that will echo throughout the forest. I don't know what I understand, from up forest to down forest to the hearing of the cultivating farmers in their various farmland to come for a rescue. That is the cable wire. Nigeria is now shouting, crying, the echo of a nation throughout the whole Sahel countries and Western Africa, even Eastern Africa. Other countries are chiding away, removing their hands, distancing themselves from the lawless country called Nigeria, who illegally arrested Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and renditioned him into this country extrajudicially. That's why other countries are just gapping up big men, big allies to Nigerians. Look at Saudi Arabia, they don't want to do anything about it, but it's because it is too illegal to commit what Nigeria actually committed against an educated man. Illegal giants a man that is one of the greatest intellects of our time, the Nostradamus that saw the tomorrow, a man who has predicted what Nigerians are going through now. Across Nigerian land, you can see how Fulani headers are encroaching with AK-47, AK-49, and all their animals feeding on our various crops cultivated across the farmlands of Nigeria. Kanu actually predicted it. Yoruba man could not take it right in his car because they look down on Igbo man that they are more educated. Education, more educated than Igbo man. That's why they are right now, let me say, on the traps of the Fulanis. The Fulanis are going everywhere, south, southwest, southeast, north, central, north, mid, north, feeding on people's farmland. Simply because we have the Taliban called Fulanis as the worst guests ever the Hausas has hosted in the history of humanity. People that just migrated from Itajolo Island, Senegambia, and into the north, and sat on the northern people, instilled their own religion, instilled their culture, instilled barbarity and the uncivility on this wonderful, hospitable hosts, the Hausas, and forced them into all manners of servitude, that is slavery. They turned themselves to slave masters of the Hausas. That's why the Hausas are nowhere to be found today. On the political top, the political down, content table of the northern region, from up to the top, the Fulanis are occupying the whole federal positions, up to the local government positions. No state in the north has been able to be governed. The Hausas have never been able to govern any state in the northern Nigeria. Never. Tell me if you know. Bauchi State, Fulani man. Kanu State, Fulani man. Kaduna State, Fulani man. Fulani man. Yobe State, Fulani man. As their governors. Adamawa State, Fulani man. As their governors. Even Borno states that are largely Kanuri, the Fulanis control Borno State. So friends, you know what I'm trying to say? You don't actually know reasons why Mazi Nnamdi still remain incarcerated, though freed by the courts. 2. Nigeria violated the International Charter or United Nations Charter, which actually indicated they illegally, extraordinarily arrested Nnamdi Kanu, blindfolded him, committed all manners of inhumanity of man against him, thereby violating his human rights. 2, that's 2. Third one, Kanu has actually made out many prophecies implicating the Yoruba, the Fulanis, the people that marginalized the Igbos from 1970 till date, that come what may, the Igbos are sitting away from Nigeria. Nigeria is now afraid that if they allow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra has come. Biafra emancipation is a thing of what? Let me use light word for you. Possibility over possibility. Biafra emancipation has come. And I'm telling you that very soon, in no distant time, Kanu is coming out. Because the DSS Director General has actually loaded his gun and shot himself on the leg by vomiting out such remark. They actually are pointing out at the court, every court session that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made. So what am I trying to say here? The reasons are too bright, too clear, lucid, and impeccable, that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, another reason, Nigeria is going to pay heavily. The amount he charged Nigeria, United Nations organization will actually compel Nigeria forcefully to pay that amount. Then again on Kenya, where Uhuru Kenyatta was the head of the government over there in 2021, Kenya is going to pay mightily, and United Nations is in the position to forcefully compel Kenya to pay, compensate, reparation or whatever onto Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a question of what? Let me say, intervention of the United States, the member nations of United Nations, everybody, even Britain, is hooked here. Britain is caught in his own cobweb. Let me say net of his cobweb. The British that has been claiming that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is their citizen distance themselves because they are chameleonic country. Britain, you are chameleon. Britain, you are chameleon. You are chameleonic, unstable country. You always come out with craft and schemings to loop the black, to subjugate all your colonies, empire in Africa entirely, to manipulate them by stealing their natural resources. That's why you left Mazi Nnamdi Kanu there. And today the law has caught up with you. Kanu is going to court with you and we are going to pay because he's a citizen. He's having your international passport when he was arrested. Britain, you are in trouble. And I have this to tell you. Kanu is coming out willy-nilly, come what may. Justice should be served to everybody in Nigeria. Justice should be served to everybody all over the world. Justice is meant for the last hope of common man in America, common man in Canada, common man in Nigeria, common man all over Africa, Europe, Oceania, Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. Justice is for everybody. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has come to assure you that justice must be served. No more travesty of justice, no more swaying justice for sake of one man. It is too obvious that Kanu has been, was violated in Kenya by Nigerian government under the watch of Muhammad Buhari, with Abubakar Malami as the Attorney General of the Federation, that's Minister of Justice in 2021. It is obvious that Kanu has gotten justice. Very soon, he's going to slug it out with justice or more torture from Yoruba extraction. I think the man is being careful because he doesn't want to drag his legal legacy, on the mud, on Potopoto as a result of ego, Owomida. Could he? No. If he actually understands what it takes to have that kind of credible pedigree, integrity, dignity as a legal man, I think he must do the needful. But after that, Director General of DSS during Buhari regime must be held responsible. This still connotes one of the reasons they don't want to leave Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There are many victims. Yes, violation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's right has actually victimized many people during and after Buhari regime, and within this administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, many people are going into trouble. Because Kanu, Britain must actually pay. Nigeria must actually pay. Malami must actually pay. Kenya must actually pay. Uhuru Kenyatta especially has questions to answer. And we're going to just see this vendetta, this psychological intensity, packed drama coming very soon. This month, April, and May, month of May, respectively, when actually Mazi Samurai Banjoko is going to come out as well. Finland is going to leave him because they have not been able to substantiate any reasons, any accusations as Nigeria leveled against him without going to Finland there to actually prove it. I pause here and I'm imploring all of you, please enjoy me, subscribe from my YouTube channel, Extreme News. Like me, hit the notification bell, follow me. I pause here. Tomorrow is another day. We are going to have another chat on my channel. Good night.